Reasons to buy a Traxxas Sledge? Well, I'm about to show you why you should have bought one.
Well, Rich here, and today I'm out on a bit of a road trip. I'm driving 145 miles from my house in Pennsylvania to F&M Hobbies, where for me, my RC career on YouTube effectively started. Very, very good model shop indeed, probably one of the best that I've come across in America. I'm driving there to pick up one very specific car.
Fingers crossed we get there before it gets dark and rain. Well, is this a good omen or a bad omen? Just as I pulled up outside LB's shop, it started raining. Well, on the dry days, if you've seen my earlier videos, at the weekends, we used to use this as a test track for speed runs. Anyway, go inside, check out the Traxxas Sledge. Friend Alan Favino. Alan was in some of our earlier videos and very kindly used to lend me his cars to play with, and here sitting on the side, man, that thing looks absolutely awesome. Wow, if you think this looked good online, I'll tell you, that just pops out. Since I was last in New Jersey, a lot of changes in the store, but here is the all new, awesome looking Traxxas Sledge, and that mine is in one of those boxes over there. I'm then getting the green one, which is the one that is the store's car in here. This is quite different to anything Traxxas have come up with before. Or whatever design rulebook you thought Traxxas were working to, I think they've just ripped it up and then some. The electronics for this are pretty much exactly the same as the e-Revo, sat on the shelf up there, with the exception there's a new high torque servo fitted to the car, new tyres on the car. However, there are some slight criticisms online that the servo is a little bit too slow and a few issues with the tyres, but I've got a superb set of belted POWERHOBBY tyres that are going to fit this car like a dream. While I was down there, I thought I'd come and ask Alan what new stuff has come in, particularly from Traxxas. Bear in mind, we're going to be reviewing the Traxxas car in just a second. So what have you got?
We have the new Bandit VXL, new wheels, new body paint scheme. There is a whole new chassis frame in this car, and it is also now including the Magnum 272R transmission out of the drag slash. It's only in the two-wheel drive VXL cars. Stampede got the same treatment, and the two-wheel drive Rustler got the same treatment. Staying with the two-wheel drives, the new Slash, Stampede, Bandit, and Rustler are all coming with front and rear lights, and I believe on the two-wheel drive Rustler and Bandit they have the new style chassis, whole bunch of new colors on these things. That one's going to be popular, I think. Rustler news, the new Rustler colors. What? They're coming with the new fancy wheels on them that everybody likes, and the same thing with the Bandit via XL5.
And you're saying you think that's going to be popular?
I think this is going to change something for the Bandit, because it's never really been a hot seller, but it's a great first car, especially if you don't have a lot of high grass to run through.
And plenty of stock of all of these down there at F&M.
Yep, got a huge order.
Well, many thanks to Alan and Jim at F&M Hobbies for getting me one of the Traxxas Sledges nice and early. Anyway, time to head back home to Pennsylvania. And things I do for this hobby. Well, for the love of RC, it's Richie's Traxxas Sledge unboxing. First of all, big shout out to my friends at F&M Hobbies in New Jersey, where my RC car video career really started out. I'll put a link to them below the video. Now, I have an expression. I do this stuff so you don't have to. 6-hour round trip last night, just over 300 miles in the middle of one of the worst thunderstorms I have ever been in. Dedication to RC is going about a 300-mile road trip to pick up a car. Things I do for this hobby. And not only that, it is about 6 AM in the morning the next day when I am filming this unboxing. It's because I'm that eager to get this car out of the box. So what caught my eye about a Traxxas Sledge? Well, whilst I like ridiculously fast small RC cars, I also like ridiculously fast big RC cars. And as you will see when I get this thing out of the box, looks like it's going to handle like a dream, as it is nearly as wide as it is long, which means it should handle very, very well indeed. And for anyone that thinks it might look a little bit like a Armour Creighton 8S. I've actually got Ryan's Armour Creighton 8S, so we can compare it on a bench, side by side later on this video. But I had to put that down, as it's quite heavy. More to the point, it is double the weight of the Traxxas Sledge. Traxxas Sledge weighs about 12.5 pounds. That 8S Creighton weighs just over 24 pounds.
If anyone out there is running an 8S Creighton, I think this thing is definitely gonna give you a run for your money.
8S versus 6S, but half the way. I am going to put them head to head with Ryan as soon as I can do. Solid catching speed, 70 miles an hour. I have no doubt this car is going to hit that when I fit the optional pinion and the optional spur. Stock out the box, 13 tooth pinion, 52 tooth spur. Well, it could be, because with that gearing on 4S, just 35 miles an hour, you fit the optional speed gearing, which is an 18 tooth pinion and a 46 tooth spur. It'll do 45 miles an hour on 4S. I know you're not impressed so far, but then you put 6S in. Then the thing comes alive. Does 55 miles an hour on the stock gearing, does 70 miles an hour plus, it does 70 miles an hour with the optional pinion and spur, which are winging their way towards me in the post right now from Traxxas, because that was the first thing I ordered when the parts list came online. So what colour did Richie go for? Red or blue? Well, neither actually, as my X-Max is in green. I thought I might as well go for a matching sledge in eye-popping green. Anyway, come over here, let's have a closer look. Well, the first thing you notice about it is it's nearly as wide as it is long, and it does have a similar look to the Armour Creighton 8S that I've got sat down there. So we'll do a side-by-side comparison in a future video, so if you don't want to miss that, then don't forget to subscribe. Anyway, let's dive straight down into the detail on this car. We've got sledgehammer tyres fitted to it, which is supposed not to balloon as much, give a high level of grip, etc, etc. I will put that to the test outside. I have heard that people are having a few issues with the tyres, but obviously not run this yet, so can't comment on that as yet, but I have got a set of Power Hobby belted tyres, which you might try with the high-speed gearing on. Now, if you buy a Traxxas Sledge, the first thing, when you get it out of the box, you're going to think is, I want to look inside it. How do I get the body off? Because there doesn't appear to be anything like the X-Max where it folds back on there. It's obviously completely clipless, but they've outdone themselves with this body. Do these pull back? Now, you reach under here, and there's two tabs. You pull those upwards, and the body slides off. No more landing with the front where the X-Max will pop and blow the body off, as will the e-Revo. Just check out that fixing underneath the body. It has now been designed to stop the body blowing off when it lands under head-on impacts. Absolutely outstanding feature. Now, if you were expecting Traxxas to rinse and repeat old stuff, forget it. This thing is completely new. This is not simply a reworked Traxxas Evo. Completely new platform. And let me tell you now, this looks a heck of a lot stronger. Starting off at the back, we've got that aero wing. I have a feeling we'll probably need that with the high-speed gearing at 70 miles an hour. We don't have a wheelie bar on the back. I'm not sure if there's even an option for one on there. So at this stage, I'm not sure if we'll even need a wheelie bar on there. Big bore GT shocks all around. Steel drive shafts. Rear diff case looks fairly tough, to say the least. Nice big solid A-arms, but we'll have a better look at those from underneath. Very neat mud and crud guards at either side on the back, and one blindingly obvious feature running straight down the centre is this T-bar for added strength from end to end when you're doing big stunts, etc. And just check out those angle braces, both front and rear on there. Metal centre drive shafts down there. The one thing I would say is, whilst this car's got a bit of plastic in it, this is plastic at a different level. This is clearly much tougher. Checking out that centre diff case on there and the bracing on here, this has a completely different feel to it than any other Traxxas that I've come across. I believe you can upgrade these tie rods to adjustable ones. Again, big bore GT shocks out the front. No impact bumpers, so you're going to have to be a little bit careful, particularly if you're going along at 70 miles an hour, as if you're at a wall, the first thing that's going to hit it is the tyres. And what's powering us to that 70 miles an hour is this 2000 kV motor, all new according to the website. Check out though the motor mount. That motor is not going anywhere in a hurry, whether you're jumping, the car's landing hard, upside down, sideways, etc. Also note the 4 screw holes on the top for the optional fan to be fitted to the car. Now you might say, oh, why didn't Traxxas fit a fan? It's actually good news to my mind, as you could fit something like a Power Hobby turbo fan, which gives a lot more cooling than any manufacturer's stock fans do. Whilst that 6S ESC can run off 2 3S packs, Traxxas have very helpfully included a looper cable on there, meaning you can run one giant 6S pack in there. And today I'm running a single 6S Power Hobby pack, 100C rating, 5000 milliamp. We have got a very high torque servo, which is new from Traxxas, fitted to this car. I am hearing people say It's a little bit slow though, but I've not driven it as yet, so I'm not going to comment. Also, they made some modifications to the battery tray on here, and that is a lot more securely locked in. So this is definitely designed for some serious air. Check out that blue anodized chassis, which looks absolutely gorgeous, and it's fairly thick, as are the shock mounts. Just check, that must be about 5-6 mil thick on there. Battery in, body on, let's roll.
Well, 6S power in this. I've been testing it off camera. I've reshot the introduction probably half a dozen times. That is because this thing is on a different level to anything that I have driven in recent years. Literally, as you're about to see, this thing is nothing short of phenomenal. Stock gearing, 6S battery, a little bit damp out here to say the least. Steering radius, not too bad at all. Oh yeah, we're going to have more than enough power to have some fun on the wet here. Now, I can see why people are saying that steering servo might be slightly slow. It's not super quick, but then on the other hand, for bashing, you really need it to be quick. Now, it's wet here, so I'm not expecting it to wheelie as standard, nor has it got a wheelie bar on. I take it all back. This thing is going to be an absolute bleeping monster. Oh my lordy, Traxxas, I'm telling you right now, Traxxas. Oh my lord. Traxxas, you have absolutely outdone yourself. I can tell with it, I drive a lot of RC cars, and you can tell within an instant whether something is good or not. And this thing is going to be an absolute hoot to drive. My God, I'm sorry for shouting so much. Man. Now, its forte is obviously going to be on grass, so guess we should go find some. It's just the stock gearing on it, but the acceleration is nothing short of brutal. Oh. Sorry. My God, this thing is just... Whoa. Nearly as wide as it is long, which means it can handle at stupid speeds. Good on the transitions, I have to say. Well, if anyone was thinking Traxxas were maybe losing the battle against Armour, think again. This thing is absolutely crazy. I'm laughing because I've been playing around with this off camera. This is, I would say, one of the best cars Traxxas have produced in recent years. This thing puts the M in monster truck because it is just brutally fast. I mean, there's no other words for it. It's just brutal. Yeah, the handling with that wide wheelbase, with a wide track on there, rather, not wheelbase, is absolutely phenomenal. This has just got the stock gearing, 6S on there. Handles like an absolute dream, both on the blacktop and more important, the acceleration is just bonkers. I thought it might not wheelie with not having a wheelie bar on there, and now you can see straight away why they've got the crud guards on there. Just check out that. Unreal. And with that wider track on there, if it does start to roll, it's quite easy to catch. This thing is just going to become an aerial demon. I think they've made Traxxas to maybe look to what Armour's been doing on the truggy scene, on the monster truck thing, and getting a bigger, this thing is just unreal. This is one of the best RCs I have driven in years, I can tell you that right now. And no, I'm not a Traxxas fanboy, not an Armour fanboy. I just love good RC cars, and this thing is a one of just unreal. You want one of these. Trust me, if you were sat on a fence and you didn't buy one, you're now gonna have to wait to June to get one, because demand for these is that high. And sorry, I'm trying not to swear, but this thing really does deserve. Man, speed it goes at. I'm almost. I'm going to do a speed run, but I would be tempted just to keep it with a stock gearing and run it on 6S, because I think clearly that's pretty much what it's been designed for. Full throttle towards me. And those brakes, I love cars with good brakes. Pause for breath, as I'm doing, and give this video the thumbs up if you like the look of this thing. I am not an RC car fanboy, just love good RC cars. This is one of the best I have driven in quite some years. Literally, this thing is that good. Well, when I paid my $800 for this car, it was before I'd seen it in the store, but I just had a good feeling about this car. And there's been people out there saying Traxxas are on the edge of going bust. Well, I can tell you that I've spoken to people from Traxxas, salespeople, extra, just the opposite. Under the pandemic, the company has absolutely boomed. I think they've invested some of that money they've made into this car, and it is definitely going to be a worthy challenger to the Armours out there. And I have a feeling from this first performance, definitely be a challenge to some of the Success Armour cars, and more to the point, I think it's going to challenge Ryan's A-Test Creighton. Speaking of which, I think I'd better get him on the phone and get him over here. So if you don't want to miss that head-to-head test against of the Traxxas Sledge against the Armour Creighton A-Test, then don't forget to subscribe. Well, on 6S power, this thing is one of the most bonkers cars I have driven in years. The handling is just surreal. It really does handle well. And put up quite a bit of abuse. That's the first time I flipped it over and it's landed wheels up. Well, first time I flipped it actually, if you know what I mean. Normally, I wouldn't say buy a 70-mile-an-hour capable car for a beginner, but if you run this in 4S, bear in mind it's going to accelerate like a bat out of hell, but only reach 35 miles an hour, but hitting about 55 miles an hour in this spec today. And more than enough power to wheelie.
Well, I hope you liked my new Traxxas Sledge unboxing and first test drive. If you did, you want to see more of this car, then please subscribe. And if you like what you saw today, give it the thumbs up. As I say, I just love good RC cars. I'm fortunate enough to drive an awful lot of them, and I have to say, this is one of the best handling, best accelerating ones I have driven in quite a few years. No months or weeks, years. So as I say, you don't want to miss any more of the upcoming videos of this thing, because I think we're going to have some fun, particularly at the skate park next week. Then by all means, join me on my journey by subscribing. Well, thumbs up if you like this video, guys. Post any comments you might have in the comment section below the video, and hit the circle below to subscribe. And if you do hit the circle, don't forget to hit the bell.